Will. Yeah, it's my job here tonight to try to keep things on time.
Too late.
It's 6:24. This was supposed to start at 6. Thanks to Andro, we're already way behind. But he's to blame, not me. So, welcome everybody here tonight. Thank you, Andro, and thanks for all the work and effort that you put in to try to make the Republican Party as strong as it can be at the local level. I'm honored to have been asked to moderate tonight's First Look Governors Forum. And before we begin, let me take a moment to explain the format for tonight's First Look Governors Forum. We have, as we get started, each candidate will have 3 minutes to introduce themselves. And at the conclusion of the forum, each candidate will also be given 3 minutes to deliver a closing statement. During the forum itself, I will be asking the candidates 4 questions which they have received in advance. So since they're limited to 3 minutes, they should have practiced this over and over again. You should have no trouble staying on time. During the forum itself, I'll be asking the candidates 4 different questions. These questions were not prepared by me, so don't blame me if you don't like the questions. And each candidate will have 3 minutes to respond to each question. To help keep things as close to schedule as possible, our timekeeper, Sandy, she's sitting back here, and she's got, I guess we can call them yellow flags, yellow pieces of paper. There's a 30-second sign, that's the yellow marker that she's going to hold up to indicate that time is nearly up. And then there's a red stop sign that Sandy also has. If you can't see it's red, you just see that it's dark. And you'll see that the red stop sign is up when time has expired. I know all of you, especially with what's going on right now in the state of Illinois, can talk forever. I realize that, but please be respectful of the time parameters tonight. Before we get started, just a few quick housekeeping items for our guests in attendance. First of all, thank you for being here and all of you for caring about the future of our great state of Illinois. I know many, if not most all of you, are involved in politics locally, either as a current or former elected official or in another capacity that shows your involvement and concern for our local communities. We appreciate you for that and for being here. And please, however, silence all cell phones tonight so that we can avoid distractions and interruptions throughout our event. The restrooms are located on the main level or the bar level, which most of you are on right now. And the bar will remain open throughout the evening. The restrooms are back in the southeast corner, behind the bar back there, if you'd like to use the restroom throughout the event tonight. So please feel free to quietly get up and refresh your drinks at any time, as there will be no intermission during the program tonight. Okay, so it's time to get rolling, shall we? Let's do this. Let's do this. With us tonight for our First Look Candidates Forum, Mr. Max Solomon could not be here. He had a last-minute personal reason he couldn't be here, so he's not with us. But we do have Mr. James Mendrick, our sheriff of Kane County. We also have with us tonight Mr. Aaron Del Mar. And we have Mr. Ted Dabrowski. We will begin tonight with our opening remarks, which again will be 3 minutes each. And we will start with Mr. James Mendrick. James, you are here to introduce yourself. You have the floor, sir.
Oh, how are y'all doing today? So, we are what we have accomplished. I've worked in local government for almost 30 years. 7 as your elected sheriff in DuPage County. 6 years I ran financial crimes in DuPage County for the second biggest county in this state. I've investigated drug cartels, embezzlers, retail theft, rings, sex crimes. Anything that had a dollar assigned to it was also illegal to do. After that, 6 years of financial crimes, I was the accreditation manager and audited my own agency for 3 years on over 1,200 standards. After that, I was put in charge of the budget. And For 12 years, I ran an $80 million budget, 504 employees, over 300 contractors, all in government space. I'm the chief contract negotiator, writer of the arbitrated awards, and that's what I've done for 12 years. And the one difference between me and the rest of the state is in 12 years, I've never gone $1 past my $80 million. My appropriation. I have the largest police force in DuPage, and in 7 years as sheriff, we haven't had one use of force complaints on one deputy from one citizen since I've been elected. I was a road deputy myself and never pointed my gun at a human being in over 500 arrest scenarios. We are the leaders in de-escalation. I have the only correctional facility in DuPage, and we're the premier rehabilitation forum within this country. We teach rehabilitation to the rest of the country. We've dropped our recidivism rates from 85 to 15%, our opioid rates from 90 to 20%. That's because we do detoxification, mental health specialty work, 200 counselors training in 80 classes a week. Danny Sawyer down there, he's one of our teachers.
All right, Danny.
Just so you know, this is the way that $1 spent saves 19 in housing costs in rehabilitation, saves up to $12 million per year in our correctional facility. Myself and other police chiefs made MERIT, the Metropolitan Emergency Response and Investigative Team, where we combine all police forces against 40 agencies within DuPage County to provide police services that will serve the smallest and the biggest with equal protection. Ton of charity work. We've delivered tens of thousands of pounds of food from Meals on Wheels Senior Services, and we have also contributed 10,000 pounds of produce every year from our jail food population and all of our horticulture and hydroponics works. My family is the Special Olympics the Special Olympics Torch Run family for Illinois. We create hundreds of thousands of dollars in charity every year doing what we do. This is what we do. This is good government. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Mendrick with us here tonight. Now I'd like to turn the floor over to our second of our candidates to introduce themselves, Mr. Aaron Delmar.
Take it easy, Bob.
What we do today. I know that many of you were expecting to have my running mate, Darren Bailey. Unfortunately, he could not be here today, but he wanted me to send his well wishes and his regards to everyone here as he takes care of his young grandson, Finn, who was the survivor of the fatal accident that happened a couple weeks ago. You know, I want to thank everyone also for all of the well wishes, for the messages, for the Facebook posts, for everything that you've done to dull the blade a little bit of the horrible pain that the Bailey's family have been going through. If you haven't been on social media yet today, there is a pretty cool video that I think you all should see, that Darren and Cindy have been given a lot of time, a lot of prayer, and a lot of thought, and we are running for governor and lieutenant governor. You know, I'm excited and I'm proud to be a part of this team, not just because of the devout respect I have for Darren Bailey, but for the way that I've seen the community surround him in his own area. And I've learned a lot about him in the last several weeks, more than I ever knew before. You know, we live about 5 hours apart, and I'm very proud to be a part of the ticket, not only as a running mate, but also as a friend. But that hadn't always been the case. You know, several months ago, I had planned to run for lieutenant governor with another, run for governor with another person. Already had my lieutenant governor picked out, ready to run, and join you, my colleagues up here on stage as the top tier of the candidate. And Darren reached out to me and he had his team, and they said, Aaron, we'd like to talk to you about running with Darren. I said, I've already been a lieutenant governor. I did it with Darren, with Gary Rabine. I'm not interested. Thank you very much. And they said, well, you at least consider it. I've considered it. Thank you very much. I'm out. And they said, well, you at least meet with Darren for 45 minutes. I said, okay, that I can do. So they came to my office in Mid-City, put my phone on the table. I marked 45 minutes. And when that clock was done, I was done. You know, Darren and I had not always seen eye to eye on some issues. He's thrown a lot of rocks in my head. I mean, the man even endorsed my last 2 opponents against me. It's not a good feeling to start a relationship. But as we started talking in that 45 minutes, it turned into 4 hours. And Darren and I realized we had more in common than we had apart. And we thought, hey, this could be an epic opportunity to make generational change by taking one of the strongest candidates from Southern Illinois and taking one of the strongest from Northern Illinois and combining. Putting our differences aside and more importantly, putting our egos aside for one goal, and that goal is to beat J.B. Pritzker. Dan and I understand that unity is not about agreeing on everything, it's about agreeing on the things that matter the most. And as you compare and contrast the rest of my colleagues up here on stage and we go through the rest of this wonderful forum, I want you to think about this. It's not about who you necessarily like, or people that you've had differences or squabbles with, or internal political fights. It's with the two candidates you think have the best chance to beat J.B. Pritzker come next November. When we vote on March 17th on St. Patrick's Day, it's not Valentine's Day. You're making a strategic chess move to vote to change Illinois. Thank you.
What have you got?
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Aaron Delmar. And now we turn the floor over to another one of our governor candidates who's here tonight, Mr. Ted Dabrowski.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for being here. It's exciting. This is an exciting moment. And running for governor is a big deal because our state's in big trouble. So I'm Ted Dabrowski. I'm running for governor, and I'm running because we should be a top 5 state in this country for economic opportunity, for growth, for wages, for education.
Yeah.
And we're not. But we should be, right? We should be competing with North Carolina, with Tennessee, with Florida, with Texas. And the people here should be able to thrive as much as those people in those states are. And then you have to ask the big question, why aren't we? We have the best resources. We're in the middle of the country. We know the great assets we have, the great infrastructure we have, the great people we have, the great history, the Chicago economic engine. I was just downstate in southern Illinois, amazing, just in central and southern Illinois, the soil, the farming. Why aren't we the best? And I think we know why we're not the best, because we've got a bunch of Democrats who've been running this state for the last 2 or 3 decades, and the Governor Pritzker, who's made a mess of our beautiful, amazing state.
Right.
And I want to ask, and I know we're all in agreement here, that we want Pritzker out of office, right? Under Governor Pritzker, right, we have the highest property taxes. He doubled the motor fuel tax, so we have the second highest gas taxes. Right? We're losing our population. If it wasn't for the illegal immigrants coming in, we'd be even shrinking more. Right? And that's all on him. And I look at job creation. There's something, I'm a numbers guy, if you get those guys who follow me. Under Governor Pritzker in the last 7 years, Texas has created 1.5 million new private sector jobs. Florida, 1.1 million new private sector jobs. Illinois, 25,000. Almost nothing. It's almost zero. And this is why people can't find their opportunity here. That and the property taxes are driving people crazy. Not to mention the DEI, right? Not to mention the transgender in schools. Not to mention the illegal immigration spending that he's done. It's all got to go. So with that, my name is Ted Dabrowski, and I've been working on public policy for the last 15 years. I've been challenging the state, challenging our legislators on taxes, on all these failed policies. I've traveled the state, I've worked with grassroots groups, I've testified in legislature, I've worked directly with legislators. I have been working my butt off to try to fix this state. And I got tired of writing about it, I got tired of complaining about it, and I said, I'm jumping in. So here I am. Now, we can talk a lot about what has to happen, and we will tonight, all the changes that need to happen. But I want you to think about 2 things, and Aaron touched on one of them. Winnability. If we want Pritzker out, you've got to look at who can win, and you've got to look at the past results. They matter. That's number 1. So if you want him out, look at who can win. Number 2, principled governance. We've sent a lot of politicians to Springfield, and 6 months later, they're all squishy, right? And that doesn't work for us. This game has been going on for a long time. It's time to do principled leadership. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ted Dabrowski. So all of our candidates here have introduced themselves that are with us tonight. And just so everybody knows, I will alternate between candidates for each question. And each candidate, as I mentioned, will have 3 minutes to respond to each of the questions that follow. Aaron Delmar will answer the first round of our 4 questions this evening. And Aaron, the first question I'd like to ask you is, what is the single most important change you believe our state needs in the next 4 years? It's a tough question. And how will you personally lead to make this happen?
Thank you very much for the question. I think the simplest answer is the same reason all these gentlemen are here up on stage together, is we need to change the policy and, more importantly, the person at the top of the ticket, and that's J.B. Pritzker. If we want to make substantial change, generational change in Illinois, it needs to come from the very much at the top, and that matters. You know, the power of the governor has over 2,200 positions they can do. That's starting from the different agency heads. If we want to stop 2,200 children from dying or disappearing over the last 8 years under J.B. Pritzker, then the head of the DCFS has to go. Out the door. If we want to make sure that insurance is more affordable, we need to open up our borders so we can get insurance quotes from other states, not just from ones that keep us captured here in Illinois. You want to talk about Illinois when we have affordability issues. If we talk about how we want to lower property tax and find a new way to calculate property tax in a way that we can all survive in Illinois, and maybe with the right leadership and the right heart, we can thrive. Because really that's the vision that Darren and I are putting forward when we work together and we talk about our policy issues. We want to have an environment where we're not rewarding ComEd after they had just talked to this, the Speaker of the House, Mike Madigan, and helped put him in jail and paid a $350 million fine. Our state legislature and our governor just passed legislation letting them charge us whatever they want on our electricity bills. That is the policy that is being set at the top, and it's trickling down, that is raining down on everybody in this room and then everybody across the state. That is where the change can happen, and that's where Illinoisans can work together, can vote together to change policy, even if we're in the super minority in the House and in the Senate. Because with those positions, we can get all of the patronage jobs out of here. Those that are precinct captains that have no business being in government, but are putting themselves there because they knock on doors in Chicago. These are the changes that make a fundamental difference when we start taking and putting 2,200 highly qualified people who govern with conservative values. And you can see the wins when conservatives are leading when you look at all the red states like Texas and Florida and South Carolina, everywhere that Ted just rattled off. We can make that change if we can get a leader with the intestinal fortitude to govern that. That is what we're talking about. We want to get a leader that guides by family, that guides by faith, that guides conservative values. And that is what the Bailey-Dunbar ticket can bring to Illinois.
Next up, we welcome Ted Dabrowski, and we ask the same question, of course. Ted, what is the single most important change that you believe our state needs over the next 4 years, and how will you personally lead to make this happen?
All right, it is a tough question because there's so many dadgum things we'd like to change here. But as I thought about it, the number one change that has to happen, look, we can get Pritzker out of office, right? Let's assume we get him out of office. All right, but then what do we do as Republicans? What do we do as leaders of change? And this is the big deal. I'm going to tell you that for me, the most important thing is principled leadership. Because you just look at the last few weeks, we had Republicans vote for the mental health bill recently. We had Republicans vote for the pension increase for Chicago. We've had Republicans vote for tax hikes. Right? Republicans voted for the 2017 tax hike. They voted for the gas tax increase. And we will never be able to put a united front against Democrats. We will never be able to have a proper Republican brand if we're not consistent, if we're not principled, and if we're not united as a caucus. Because if we're not, then we have a hard time pinning the blame on the Democrats. And so that's why I think that's the biggest thing that we need to bring together. And, it's a little bit controversial to say, but if we can't do that, then we just keep going along to get along. And that doesn't change anything for anybody. So that's, for me, is the biggest thing. And it doesn't just happen at the state level, right? It happens at the county level. It happens in a lot of places. So that's my promise to you. And this is the good thing about the work I've been doing at WirePoints. I have to go on the record all the time on what my stance is on taxes, right? On crime, on every issue. I've been on the record. And so what I would sell to you guys why you should support me is because you know my record. You can go see my record on paper over and over again in the press, in the Wall Street Journal, in the Tribune. You know my record, and I will stand with that record, and I will fight for you. I will not give in and cozy up and do deals with the Democrats just to feel good, because that's what we see a lot of happening. So that's my promise to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ted Dabrowski. We finish our first question with Mr. James Mendrick. And once again, what is the single most important change, Mr. Mendrick, that you believe our state needs over the next 4 years? How would you personally lead to make this change happen?
So let's take the very largest factor that's changing the way we live in Illinois, and that is the sanctuary state. That is my #1 change that I will day one of being governor. We have a secondary population being laid on a primary population. There's no way we can afford this. There's absolutely no way. So it's the biggest issue. For 4 years, Joe Biden's open borders. Let people in relentlessly. And you know what? We're the big rehabilitator. We're the nation's leader in rehabilitation in our jail system, so we teach these classes at the National Sheriff's Association. While I'm teaching these classes, I'm attending classes from California and Texas border sheriffs that teach classes about border crossings. And I watched for the first year of Joe Biden's open borders entire jail systems, mental health populations, military people coming in with guns, walking through holes in a fence that were not being guarded. We got the jail populations and their mental health populations first. They've been in our country for 4.5 years. It's not that it's just immigration. It's that it's back and forth transit. They've established patterns, tunnels, airplay, ground play, any way you can come in our country. They figured it out tenfold, and they're coming in and out every day regardless of how the borders get controlled because they had access for so long. I mean, this is a really big problem, folks. Think about healthcare. Now, mind you, we pass a budget on July 1st, right? Well, after that, we're now going to pay $2 billion for healthcare of illegal immigrants. We're going to do the abortion pill in all the schools, mandatory mental health screening. I talked to medical experts just 3 days ago that did a tour in my jail and said 80% of all ER visits are non-emergency, and it's coming from the illegal alien population. That's why you're waiting 2 months for a doctor's appointment. That's why your kids aren't getting educated in school. That's why 50% of the people in my jail can't read or write. And in 2 years, I can put literacy on you, get you a GED, and get you through college, and have you orating reports when our school systems can't do this in 12 years. No, there's a problem out there, folks, and it's really big. Think about this. There was a sting by the feds just the other day. They got 30 CDL drivers that were all illegal immigrants. These are the people plowing through cars, killing people on your roads every single day. But if you ask me, hey, how many people have we stopped and pulled over that were illegal aliens? I don't know. We're not allowed to ask that question because of the sanctuary state. This is a ruined concept, and you marry it up to the Safety Act and you have chaos. The Safety Act and the sanctuary state are the main two problems that we're having in the state. They both need to be ceased immediately.
Ladies and gentlemen, DuPage County, James Mendrick. All right, so that's one question, very strongly answered. Now it's time to move on to our second question of the night. Ted Dabrowski will answer this question first. And the question that I ask you now, Ted, is what specific tax cuts or spending reforms would you prioritize in your first budget to address Illinois' pension crisis and high property taxes?
Thank you. I think after visiting many areas of the state, and I know probably my partners up here will agree, property taxes are #1, the biggest complaint everywhere I go. It's by far. I think Illinois Policy Institute just did a poll that showed that as well, so it confirms that. Now, the good news is, okay, now first of all, we have to realize, even if we get the governorship, we either have super majorities or some pretty strong majorities we have to go against. So it doesn't mean that we're going to just be able to make changes just like that. However, the benefit that I'd like to say that I bring to the table is I get to do kind of the Doge-like stuff, right? Because it's what I've been doing for quite a few years, exposing where the spending is, exposing where the problems are, and highlighting it as much as I can. So being the governor and having the bully pulpit and having access to all the departments and all the data, guess what, man? We get exposed, and that's point number one. So I've been doing stuff like this, and I'll tell you where, I know where the property tax problems are because I've been studying a long time. Take the salaries of many of our superintendents in schools. The Dalton superintendent, you guys know Dalton's a little tricky place, right? The Dalton superintendent makes $450,000 in income, okay? And he's the top in the state, but it's a whole bunch of them that make more than $350,000. Now you know what their pensions become, right? When you make a salary that big, that becomes pension. So all that stuff inflates. And not only that, school districts compete with one another. They say, hey, that guy's getting $400,000 over there. I want the same. So it's all inflated. So that pushes up property taxes. Then you look at local governments. We have